Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, how consumers are changing and how you can cash in, insulating your business from seasonal downturns, and the secrets to success from the master chef behind Black Olive. Welcome back to KBB. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and, depending on your industry, either making the most of the summer peak or setting time aside to recharge the batteries. Today we take a look at the changing consumer trends over the next 12 months and ways to take advantage of that new consumer. We help a terrific Aussie tourism business make money in the off-season, and Aussie chef Mark Olive explains the secrets behind his success. But let's kick things off with news you can use. The latest research from MYOB shows that teleworking employees can help boost business performance. The study found that small and medium-sized businesses that have employees who telework feel less pressure from cash flow, price margins and profitability. Currently, 64% of SMEs have employees who telework to some extent, but not all of these businesses have formal policies between managers and staff to properly harness the potential. An agreement covering performance expectations and monitoring, communication protocols, OH&S issues and IT support will streamline the operation so that both sides can get the most out of it. Is it time you fine-tuned your teleworking? Now, the ability to make quick decisions and ride changing market tastes is one of the greatest advantages of a small business, and that makes paying attention to consumer trends crucial. I caught up with NAB's chief economist Rob Henderson to find out the key trends to watch out for heading into 2014. Rob, as we go into 2014, what are some of the big trends you're seeing in the economy that will start to affect small business?
Well, look, the first thing I'd say is that one sector which has really responded to the Reserve Bank's interest rate cuts now is the housing sector. And it's been mainly showing up in very strong growth in house prices, particularly in Sydney, but nationally house prices are up by around 7.5%. And I suppose what that means to me is that we'll see increasing activity in housing construction. So that's something that I think small business will benefit on, particularly early on in 2014. That's one of the few areas that's looking pretty solid.
So that's builders, tradies, retailers. That has a big ripple effect, doesn't it?
Well, that's true. And of course, you know, when you build a new house, you need all those things to furnish the house, white goods and furniture and so on. One thing I'll say, though, about retailers is that I think households, whilst their confidence is up after the election, I think they're still pretty reticent to spend and their saving rates are high. So I still think retailers are going to have to be pretty good to continue to make a buck in 2014. And I think, you know, your good retailers know they've got to give the customer more than just a good price now. They've got to give them pre and after sales service and a good experience. And those that are doing that are doing fine. But there's no, I don't think, any point where they're going to be able to drop that off in the next few years.
Okay. Other trends?
Look, another trend that I think is pretty important, though, is that the unemployment rate is rising, and I think that will be a little bit of a damper. Now, that's because the economy is growing, but a lot of the growth is going to come from exports in the next few years. That's very capital intensive, not a lot of labour needed. So certainly firms that are involved in servicing that growth in exports, services firms and so on, people servicing mining and energy companies, they should do okay. But for the next while, we're going to see strong growth in exports, and a lot of it won't create a lot of jobs.
Now, Rob, what about the potential of the region for us?
Well, look, I think China and Asia are throwing up opportunities now that many small businesses aren't quite aware of yet. But something a lot of people don't know is there are already more inbound tourists from China than there are from any other country other than New Zealand. And I don't know whether we call all the Kiwis, David, tourists. Some of them, I think, are coming out here for work and so on. But it is interesting to note that already China's the most important origin of people coming to visit Australia.
So a lot of small businesses say, oh, China's great if you're an exporter and and you're a big business, doesn't affect me, but you'll say China's coming to Australia, all the Chinese consumers, so get your business ready for it.
Absolutely, and that's a key theme of ours, is that yes, certainly mining and energy is going to be important in the next few years, but the growth of middle income earners in China and right across Asia, David, means great opportunities to export services. Now, tourism's a classic case, and already I think that trend's well and truly in place.
Rob, great tips. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Coming up next, how to build sales during seasonal downturns. This business tip brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business. So, Rebecca, you say you see Australian business. What if I'm a small wholesaler that needs new vehicles and equipment? What do you see for me?
Okay, Kochie, well, I see someone who's going to need vehicle and equipment finance.
But why don't I just buy the equipment?
Well, you could, but putting cash into your asset means less flexibility and less opportunities to invest in other areas of your business.
All right, what size deposit, though, do I need?
In many cases, we finance up to 100% of the purchase price of the equipment, vehicle, and machinery, with no additional security or cash outlay required.
Right, but why not just be tied into a loan?
If you're worried about that, what we do is we align your cash flow to your repayments. Also, in many instances, access to fast pre-approved finance means more bargaining powers with your suppliers, not to mention potential tax benefits.
So let me get this right. I can have my vehicles and equipment now, no deposit and repayments that suit my cash flow.
Absolutely, Kochie. We know how important it is to upgrade new equipment with minimal impact to your cash flow or your time.
Finance made easy. Thanks. For more information, visit nab.com.au/small business. Well, school's out for summer and most businesses have wound down for a well-deserved break, but not these guys. Paperbark Camp is a bustling tourism business in southern New South Wales, which at this time of year is booming. But winter is exactly the opposite. It is a common dilemma for so many seasonal businesses. So we sent in KBB expert Linda Haley to show how to make money during the off-season.
So Jeremy, tell us the story behind Paperbark Camp.
We'd been in Africa and stayed at safari camps in Africa.
I love them.
Which we love to death.
So we came home and sort of decided, gosh, wouldn't Jarvis Bay be great because there's nowhere nice to stay?
It was in 1991 that we bought the land here and then started our rather long-term battle with Shoalhaven Council to get permission to build it.
So Ben, you have taken a more active role in the business now.
Sure.
So you said that the market's changed quite a lot.
I suppose because of all this press and this wider exposure, we're just seeing a lot of people that probably wouldn't have gone camping. They certainly wouldn't pitch a tent, and they might not be so okay with the bugs, and you can hear the cicadas in the background. It's a very natural environment. But they really want to try it.
You've taken a really strategic approach, which I think is great, because you do see a lot of tourism operators who do the build it and they will come. Yeah. And sometimes they don't.
We would really like to drive home the importance of great images. And, you know, it might cost you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get those images shot. We've had great images and they've been picked up by Destination New South Wales and Tourism Australia, and they run with it. They get them placed in the New York Times and newspapers and in-flight magazines, and that's the sort of press, that's why people are so aware of Paperbark Camp, even if they haven't really been here or they don't even know the name, but they've just seen those images slapped up everywhere. The importance of that is absolutely crucial.
Yeah. And what about familials or familiarisation visits where you put up journalists at no cost?
Our whole family agree that the best way to sell a product is to have actually gone and stayed there. They come and stay with us, they experience our product, and we build rapport with them, and they're like, you instantly see a flow of business coming through the door.
One of the big issues for almost every tourism business is seasonality. How do you cope with that?
So we tend to close after the June long weekend and open again on the 1st of September.
We set a big maintenance schedule, and it's we multi-skill all the staff, and it's a good opportunity for them to work as well.
We try, particularly with the kitchen staff, to find them jobs elsewhere, and we have a bit of a quid pro quo with organisations like ourselves up in, say, the Northern Territory, because their season is exactly opposite ours.
All of our guests comment on how wonderful they are. they're worth holding on to.
So tell us then about the new baby,
The new venture.
Flash Camp.
Yeah. Flash Camp is high-end temporary accommodation or camp glamping. We have 50 little 5-metre bell tents which roll out of the back of a 20-foot container, complete with toilets and ablutions.
So it's interesting, you've taken a core product and then you've sort of spun it off in a different direction, which I think is really cool.
Well, the synergy is perfect.
So in the spirit of masterclass, what are the things you need to do to get started and do it properly?
My advice to anybody starting a business is make sure you do the groundwork properly. Do your business plans in a really sensible, proper way. That gives you all the advantages of talking to banks and they know what you're talking about.
You want to do something unique and unusual and something different that other people aren't doing. Like, for me, that's absolutely crucial.
Well, I think you've got to have the absolute passion for it.
So be brave.
Be brave, yeah. And it is there is a lot of nerves that go along with that, you know, but it pays off.
Follow your dreams.
Some terrific tips there from Linda, and don't forget you can have Linda, Haley and the rest of the KBB team of experts working for your business through our unique one-on-one video coaching program. Just go to kbbcoaching.com.au for details and to book an appointment. Up next on KBB, the king of Aussie cuisine, Mark Olive, shares his recipe for success. Mark Olive is a terrific Aussie entrepreneur with a career spanning acting, media, cooking and catering. And now, 5 years into his latest venture, Black Olive Catering, he's as busy as ever. KBB's Alex Brophy caught up with Mark to get his recipe for success.
So Mark, thanks for your time. Can you just tell us a bit about Black Olive and the motivation behind the business?
Oh, look, the motivation behind the business is basically to get the flavours of Australia out there and get it onto the taste buds of a lot of people in the country, because we've got this great product here. We've embraced every other culture except what we've got in our own backyard.
So how did you make that transition, Mark, from being a trained chef into establishing and running your own business?
Did an apprenticeship, and then I came out of the apprenticeship and I thought, well, look, we've got all this amazing produce here. Why not infuse it into everyday cooking? 2001, applied for a course at Victorian College of the Arts. Did a BA 3 years. That gave me the time to write The Outback Cafe. Shot the pilot, 2006 it aired, and now it's in 100 countries around the world.
So the media facet's been quite central to your business growth.
I think it's helped a lot, but not only that, I think the uniqueness of what we offer as well is a real hook for a lot of corporates. They want to impress their overseas clients with something totally different.
And what advice would you have to other small businesses looking to sort of establish and leverage some media exposure?
For me, it was a lot of just putting myself out there and going and, you know, seeing people and talking to clients and going and knocking on doors and saying, look, we've got this great product.
And persistence.
And a lot of persistence and a lot of sleepless nights.
Was it tough to sort of pique that consumer taste initially?
Look, it was. People freaked out that we had our coat of arms, kangaroo, emu, crocodile. It's great. It's just getting their perception of how to change the way they think about it.
And how do you ensure return custom with such a unique product?
Oh, look, mix and match it up, offer new product, introduce new flavours. You know, go and talk about it and get out there and tell your client what you're giving them and give a little presentation while you're there.
You're a role model for a lot of young Indigenous people. Who were your role models growing up?
I had a great chef, Reno, who trained me, you know, and really took me under his wing, and an Italian chef, you know, pushing me to do this and strive and, you know, be a bit different. The work ethic that was given by my parents, they worked really hard, you know, and I think understanding that their journey was a hard journey. And for Indigenous people in the 70s, it was a hard journey. But I've had, you know, a little bit of help with government agencies, a little bit of funding, but not only that, the support.
What are your top tips for young entrepreneurs out there?
Oh, look, work hard, look at the market, how you can sort of like make a difference within that market. Go out there and visit your clients, you know, go out there and put yourself out there, say hello, you know, send that Christmas card and thank them for their business.
And for yourself, what's the future of Black Olive?
Oh, look, love to have another TV show. We will definitely be around for hopefully another 5 years. Want to keep that journey going. But not only that, put it out there to other Indigenous people that, you know, you can start a business. It's going to be hard work, but, you know, if you can get out there and make a difference, you're going to make a lot of other kids happy.
Terrific. Thanks a lot for your time, Mark.
Thanks, Alex.
Coming up, it's Ask Kochie, where we answer another of your business questions.
This segment brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business.
Welcome to the fabulous Hobart waterfront. My name's Tim Robertson and welcome to our business, Tasmanian Air Adventures. The business is predominantly an ecotourism business, aviation-based, obviously, but it's focused on taking people out to experience the wilderness of Tasmania. It was very much part of our ethos is to ensure that the community thrives from our business as well, both the profile, the success that the business brings into the community, whether it's through employment or simply raising the profile and the access to the great wilderness of Tasmania. We do see ourselves as quite unique, very much a niche market, and a fabulous experience. Christian, my business partner, and I, we have been flying most of our lives. It was almost a natural evolution, but at the same time it was quite a big step for us to go out of the cockpit and actually set up a business of this nature. The basic challenges were the same as any other small business starting out, is getting into market penetration, getting any sort of profile. We had over 11 regulatory bodies to work with, from the Civil Aviation Authority to the Maritime Safety Authority here in Tasmania. Well, the business plan was very much the foundation, and we both had fairly methodical approaches to developing any project. But it all came down to very, very hard work. Where we want to go in the future is to take that even further into non-carbon fuels and be one of the first non-carbon fuel providers in charter operations in Australia, if not the world. Social responsibility should be the centre to every business. Financial performance is only one success margin for a business. However, the beauty about the business itself, it is a high-profile business, and our market penetration and sales have increased exponentially. There's an old saying actually in aviation that says if you want to make a small fortune in aviation, start with a large one. Unfortunately, aeroplanes and vessels are all very expensive, and both to maintain and to purchase. So it was quite a challenge to fund the business as startups. We went out to a range of providers, in fact, and it was both a surprise and very exciting to us that our bank, the National Australia Bank, came forward as effectively a 100% startup loan for a business of this nature. If you can imagine the combination of aviation, water, tourism, it represents quite a medium risk startup business, and given the challenges that every business faces, we were both excited and reassured, I guess, that the National Bank were interested in supporting us. So it's been a great relationship for us to date, and we hope to continue that relationship as we go forward. I remember talking to our bank manager John at the time, who you could see the spark in his eye about the potential of this business, and I think that qualitative element to that assessment was really important, because you often don't get that with banks. So that personal touch was essential. So there's a range of things that we're looking forward to, but as with everything, we can't afford to be complacent. We want to keep our operational sides as high standard as it has been, continue to grow our people, and continue to be a positive influence on the community, both in Tasmania and the Australian tourism industry.
For more information, visit nab.com.au/small business.
It's Tech Tip Time with Val Quinn.
In a recent security study, some security experts bought 150 USBs online. Now, they were able to recover data off of these USBs that was meant to be deleted. Unless you put special attention to it, deleting or formatting data from your hard drives and USBs is really just about deleting the table of contents to that information and not the files itself. So let me show you how to properly delete your information. To truly delete data, it has to be overwritten with new data, preferably a number of times. Now, you can do this on a Mac through the disk utility, or you can download third-party software for a PC to do the same thing. But actually, the best way of getting rid of data is to destroy the drive itself. Let me show you how. You have to actually take the drive out. A good hammer will do the job. Open up your hard drive and bang the platter. And that's it, data gone.
Welcome back to KBB. Time to start answering your questions. Sam has sent this one in via Facebook. I'm currently running a new startup which has just received some funding. I've got 2 co-founders and was thinking about how to structure the business. How do I go about assigning positions like Chief Executive, CFO and CTO? Well, Sam, it can be a tricky process delegating roles in a growing business. The key is to take a view of the whole organisation to ensure all the crucial functions are covered by the best possible people. Now, a flat structure with one manager usually works best for young businesses to avoid any confusion in the chain of command. Then put policies and procedures in place to ensure everyone knows their role and can contribute to the best of their ability. And don't get too caught up on titles. They're just that, they're titles. Next week on KBB, we show you how to successfully manufacture in Asia, the goals you need to set for 2014 to achieve greater success, and the founder of Flight Centre explains how to prepare your business for takeoff.